So let me get to it this morning, even though I'm opening up Twitter again. Don't worry, Twitter has its own problems. For all of that money, well, don't let me get started. Let me see if it works. Well, Twitter, I gave you the old college try. I shall not fuss with Twitter. But those principles, they govern our lives. Our lives are not exempt from the principles. So, how do you look at this thing? How do you change your life? Because sometimes I hear, but Angela, I've been this way for 50 years. I've been this way for 60 years. I've been this way for 20 years. Nothing is changing. How can anything change when the perception hasn't? Oh, Angela, that's new age. I have heard it all, especially from Christians. And I grew up, baptized twice, thrice if I can remember correctly. But we tend to look at these things through a judgmental eye. And a lot of the reasons why people do it is because they're afraid. Yeah, but if I learn about these laws, God's going to punish me. How can God punish you for the laws that he created? I mean, I'm just asking for a friend. There's a scripture, a little tiny one, that says, without knowledge, my people, what now? Perish. You want to know God? Learn the principles. You'll begin to understand, you'll begin to comprehend God on a much deeper level. How so? Because the first principle is the all is mind. The universe is a mental creation. If you go all the way back to Genesis, whether you believe in scripture or not, I'm not here to argue semantics. I'm here to show you where the law is. When God said, let there be light, did he not know what he wanted? He wanted light. He didn't say to himself, well, I got to be real good. I got to be positive. I got to be happy to get light. No. He commanded. He said, let there be light. So when you're walking through your life, because there's no point to reading the scripture if you do not understand how to apply scripture. It's not a story that one should read. It is the comprehension of the story so that you can apply the story to your life. So when you hear, let there be light, what's that telling you? It tells you, one, know what you want. Two, you don't take no for an answer. You don't get wishy-washy and say, maybe the Lord wills. No. You do what God did. You are sure of yourself, and you are what now? Confident in the fact that when you say, let there be light, light has no option but to come forth from whence you call it. You see, we only look at the story one way and we say, let there be light, because he separated the darkness from the light, calling day and night. Right? We only look at it in that one way. But look at it in the other way.